Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Subsurface Circular. This is another indie that while I had seen it several times, there just wasn't enough to go on for me to actually invest in it until it went on sale. Subsurface Circular, like so many new indies coming out, is a story-based game, but unlike the walking simulators, it's more of a dialogic puzzle. In this game, the Subsurface Circular is actually the subway line which constitutes the entirety of the gameplay environment. As a robot whose programmed function is detective work, you're initially approached by another robot riding this subway line and asked if you can help locate a missing friend. And through your responses and conversational interactions, you'll uncover new details which result in conversation cues. These cues can be used to probe other robots riding the subway in other situations in order to get them to interact and maybe produce information you can use to solve the case. As the case grows and develops and the more conversations you participate in, you'll begin to uncover more and more of this underlying plot. And in these conversational confrontations, to dig for more evidence, you'll be exposed to logic puzzles and even a few more memory puzzles in order to find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Though there are only about 7 chapters to the game and it takes about 2 to 3 hours to get through, the story actually does become very engrossing and comes to a complete head with a split decision at the end. And though many people might argue that there's not exactly a lot of replay value, the fact that it is split up into 7 replayable chapters probably means the developers didn't really intend for there to be. Because if you wanted to find out how it ends after the other decision might be made, you can just merely replay the last chapter. The controls are incredibly simple as there's actually no character motion dynamic at all. During the entirety of the gameplay, the scenes, settings, and characters that you'll be interacting with change around you. As such, the only real movement dynamic is the selection between characters, character options. Other than that, the minus button on a Joy-Con or the select button on a Pro Controller is used to bring up the Subway Circular's map. Using the subway map to answer questions will actually be necessary for a couple of the interactions in the game, but if you don't know how to read a subway map, that's not exactly a big issue. As the game is so incredibly short, one thing people might not actually notice is that the dialogue options are more in the nature of a point and click. You can actually select and click all dialogue options until you get the right one. And despite this most likely being done just to keep players from getting stuck and to keep the game moving along, I really would have liked them to incorporate an interactive function on the map itself. This would have made interactions like that seem a lot less like randomly guessing and actually force the player to really solve the problem. But being that Subsurface Circular is a really rich indie game with a great story, amazing visuals, and good audio, that little detail really doesn't tarnish the value of the game at all. And even though this was actually a side project for the development studio, it's painfully obvious how much time and effort they put into this game. It's not just a game where you get to stumble through conversations and make choices, it actually uses this dystopian sort of scenario to be able to confront real issues such as racism and class structure. And overall, despite it being way too short for such a rich story, I'd have to say it's a really good game. So if you're a fan of puzzlers, point and clicks, story-based genres such as walking sims, this is probably one that you're going to want to try out, especially now that it's on sale. Because spending $4 or $5 for 2 or 3 hours of entertainment that actually makes you think can't really be overstated. Well, that about wraps up the review of Subsurface Circular on the Switch. So if you enjoyed the review, found it entertaining or helpful, feel free to throw me a like or comment to show your support. And don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. This channel is still new and it's growing, so every like and every subscription really does matter. But anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.